Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now I apologise that I missed a week last week, but something came up and I didn't get a chance to do a video. But I'm here now and I'm going to be showing a few more 50s and 60s singles and EPs. Now the first few singles of this video aren't actually in the right place alphabetically, but I'm just going to show them anyway because of the recent acquisitions. And just before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to Philip Higgins. And I'd recommend that you go and check out this channel. He does some really good stuff, and I've put a link to his channel in the description to this video. Right, so let's get started. So the first one I've got is a single by the Avons on the Green Columbia label, and it's 7 Little Girls Sitting in the Back Seat. Now the reason I actually bought this is just because I thought it's quite an interesting contract pressing, because as you can see it's got a 3-pronged centre and kind of a I don't know, maybe a dish you might call it in the middle. Now, I'm not an expert on contract pressings. I haven't actually really researched this, but I don't know if that means it's like a pie or an Oreo pressing or something like that. If any of you happen to know, then by all means, let me know. But anyway, this came out in 1959. So that's the first one. Now the next one I've got is actually, I believe, an American single. It's like not a reissue, but it's like two hits on one record, if you know what I mean. And it's by the Buckinghams, which is a band I'd never even heard of until a few weeks ago when I found them on YouTube. And both these songs are really good. First one is Susan, which was released in 1967. Yep, and this is another 1967 song, and it's Hey Baby They're Playing Our Song, which is also really, really good. And now to continue with showing the singles in alphabetical order. So here we've got one by Danny and the Juniors, and it is At the Hop, which is a classic 50s track, late 50s track, 1957. On the nice purple His Master's Voice label. As you can see, the singles had a bit of use because it's quite marked, but it still plays okay. And there's the B-side sometimes. Next up, we've got a single by Bobby Darin, and it's called Things. And although it's a fairly cheesy song, I also think it's really nice, pretty catchy. And it was released in 1962 on the London label. And the B-side, which I also know I think is quite a good song, is Jailer Bring Me Water. There we go. And now we've got an absolutely fantastic single, probably actually one of my favourite 50s tracks. And it's Rockin' Robin by Bobby Day on the really cool early London label with the nice triangular centre. I love that. And the B-side is just as good as the A-side on this one, which I always love, particularly about these early 50s and 60s records. You often get a good B-side, and that is Over and Over, which is a famous song in its own right. Lots of people have covered that one. So basically you get two amazing songs on one single here. It's absolutely brilliant. So that's a great one. Now the next one is the theme tune to Doctor Who, which I'm sure many of you will have heard of. It's on Decca. I've actually got a couple of copies of this, so I'm just going to skip that one because the next one I've got's nicer than that one. This was an upgrade copy. As you can see, this one's got the centre still intact, whereas the other one had it pushed out. So this is the original theme tune to Doctor Who. Recording first published 1964. Which was very shortly after the TV show started in late 1963. Now the B-side has actually got nothing to do with Doctor Who whatsoever. It's just a song by some singers called Brenda and Johnny, and This Can't Be Love, which I've only played 1 or 2 times. I can only assume that they just needed somewhere to release this, so they just slapped it on the back of the Doctor Who theme or something. I don't know. I've not really researched it. There we go. And this is something else Doctor Who related actually. It's not technically a 60s single, but I'll show it anyway. It's something called Who is the Doctor, and it's released by John Pertwee, who was one of the actors to play the Doctor, and this is from 1972 on the Purple label, interestingly. And that's a really good single. And then something called Pure Mystery on the B-side, also by John Pertwee. Right, so now back to the 60s stuff. We've got Ken Dodd's single, and that is More Than Love on the Columbia label from 1966. And there's the B-side, I Can't Seem to Say Goodbye to You. And here we've got an EP by Ken Dodd. So you get 4 tracks. Still, Remember I Love You, Come to Me, and 8x10. And to be honest, apart from a tiny bit of writing on the back, someone's written the number 47. It's in very nice condition, this one. Hasn't really been discoloured at all. And of course this one's also on the Columbia label. So a nice little EP there. Next up, got a couple by Donovan. The first one being Colours, which is a really good song that I've not actually heard in ages until just yesterday. And it's a really nice track. Here we've got kind of the Plum Pie label, as I believe it's often referred to. And this was first published in 1965. And To Sing For You is the B-side. And the next one is another really, really good song. And this time it's on the Blue Pie label. And that is Juniper. And this one's from 1968. They didn't use this Pie label for very long. So basically every song that's on it, that I've seen anyways, is from kind of around the 1968 area. Empirical was the B-side there. And here I've got an EP, Donovan the Universal Soldier. Quite an interesting cover there. And I'll just show you the back of the sleeve. There's the 4 songs you get. And again, it's got this Pie label. There you go. And that's all for the Donovans. So now I've got a very well-known track indeed, and I would say probably the most famous song by this group, and that is Save the Last Dance For Me by the Drifters. Really, really nice track from 1960. Yep, from 1960 on London. And Nobody But Me on the B-side. And now we've got a Tommy Edwards track, and this is probably the most famous song by him as well, or certainly one of the more well-known songs anyway. I don't know a great deal of Tommy Edwards music, but anyway, this is It's All in the Game, which I'd first heard sung by Cliff Richard, although I've since heard Tommy's version from 1958 on the Yellow MGM label. And the B-side is Please Love Me Forever. Now here I've got another version of that single. It's on the Yellow MGM label. However, you'll notice this is yes, there we go, made in Norway, as it says on the left hand side there. And the significance of that is that it's on this really nice dark green vinyl here. And I've seen a few singles from Norway which have been pressed on this green vinyl, and they look really, really nice. So I thought that was quite interesting. So, moving swiftly on, if I can get this back of its sleeve. There we go, right. Next up, we've got Burn Elliott with a version of the classic song Money, done by the Beatles and about 5 million other people. But of course, it's a really good track. And Nobody But Me on the B-side. Right, so there we go. And next we've got a song by the Equals, Baby Come Back, on the Yellow President label, which is not a label I really see very often at all, actually. As you can see, the sleeve isn't like forward, but it's just the sleeve that I've got it in at the minute. And Hold Me Closer on the B-side there. Here we've got Paul Evans and the Curls. I'm trying to remember what single this is actually. Oh yes, yeah. This is 7 Little Girls Sitting in the Back Seat. The same song that the Avons do that I showed at the beginning of this video. Same year as well. I'm not actually entirely sure which one is the original. I'll have to look that up. Okay, so here we've got a song by the Everly Brothers, When Will I Be Loved, from 1960 on the London label. I actually first heard this song, of all places, covered by Manfred Mann on their Machines EP, and they do an excellent version of that. It's quite different to the Everly Brothers version, but it's really good. And it's got Bebopaloola on the B-side, originally by Gene Vincent, of course. And now on the Red Parlophone label, it's not an early Beatles single, unfortunately. It is Adam Faith, What Do You Want, which was a big hit for him from 1959. And From Now Until Forever on the B-side there. Here we've got another Adam Faith one. In fact, I've got a few Adam Faiths, and here we've got How About That, also from 1959 on the red label, Parlophone label. And With Open Arms on the B-side, which is a Bacharach David composition. The third Adam Faith single I've got is Lonely Pup in a Christmas Shop, which is kind of his Christmas one, from 1960. And Greenfinger on the B-side. I've actually got an Adam Faith album with Greenfinger on it. It's not a bad song actually. It just gets stuck in your head. It's quite catchy. So if you check out one Adam Faith song today, try that one. And here I've got my fourth and final Adam Faith single, and it's A Help Each Other Romance, 1961. And The Time Is Gone is what's on the B-side, from the film What a Whopper, which I've never heard of. And now on the Phillips label, we've got a really nice instrumental, and it's Percy Faith's Theme from a Summer Place. I first heard this on like a holiday advert a few years ago, so I went out and found the single. It's really nice. From 1959. And Go Go Pogo on the B-side there. And here we've got a copy of Georgie Fame's single Yeah Yeah. As you can see, it's not a very nice one, because it's got centre pushed out, but it plays okay. Didn't pay much for this, of course. And Preach and Teach is what's on the B-side. And here we've got a later Georgie Fame one, although it's a very well known one, from 1967. It's The Ballad of Bonnie and Clyde, which I believe was a #1. I'll take that off cover so you can see the label more clearly. There we go. On CBS this is. And Beware of the Dog is what's on the B-side. And now we've got a very nice promo, which I also acquired only fairly recently, and it's got right on the label, but it plays really nicely. And it's Out of Time by Chris Farlow. This is the promo version of that. You can see he's got demonstration sample, not for sale, across the top there. And release date of 17th of June 1966, just there. And on the back we've got Baby Make It Soon. And I'll just show a few more before I end this video. So here we've got the single version, if you like, of Out of Time, just kind of the regular stock copy. On the immediate label. And here we've got one by Shane Fenton and the Fedtones. and that is Hilulu from 1964 on the Parlophone label, and I Do You on the B-side. And now we've got an EP, and it's Flair, and if I remember rightly, I think these are all just instrumentals. I might be wrong, it's been a while since I've listened to this EP. There's the songs that you get. So, here's the labels, just on kind of a fairly plain white label with black text. And here we have Fleetwood Mac's hit instrumental Albatross on CBS. And Need Your Love So Bad on the other side. I suspect this might be a reissue actually, because it's got Hall of Fame hits written on both sides, so oh well. Now here's one on Epic, and this is another Fleetwood Mac song. And yeah, it's got a 60s one on this side here. Man of the World from 1969. Again, obviously, this is a reissue. And it's got a 1975 song on the other side, Second Chapter. And to finish off, we've got a single on the Fontana label, and it's by Wayne Fontana, in fact, 24 Sycamore, which is a really nice song, but not one I hear many people talk about or play even, but it's a really good track. I first heard Gene Pitney's version of this, and they're both really good. From a Boy to a Man is what's on the B-side there. Alright, so that's the end of this week's video, and I'll definitely be doing another one next weekend, which I hope you'll all enjoy. And thank you once again for the positive feedback I've been having on my 50s and 60s videos in the last few weeks. I really do appreciate that, and I'm glad that you enjoy seeing these singles. So anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time.